So when I first came to Edinburgh to do my PhD, the big question in artificial intelligence was whether intelligence required the agent to be embodied, to have a body and interact with the world in the same way that humans do. And I'd already thought a bit about this question in my degree in Australia at Sydney University, where we did quite a lot of philosophy, and one of the questions we looked at was whether Turing's idea of being able to test intelligence by having a remote conversation for 5 minutes with artificial intelligence was really sufficient, or whether you had to actually, whether such a thing was possible for it to have that kind of conversation unless it shared our experience with the world. So essentially what that meant was if I wanted to do AI, I had to build a robot so that it could interact with the world, but I knew I would not be able to build a humanoid robot. So instead, I thought I'd start with an insect. And the first robot I built was actually a cricket. It turns out that the work that I was doing by trying to build insect robots was really quite unusual, not mainstream, and in some senses that made it difficult for my progress in my career, because it wasn't always clear where I should publish, where I should get grants from, and so on. Even which department I should be working in was not always clear. But actually, retrospectively, it's also turned out to be a big advantage, because it's allowed me to really be recognized across the world as the expert in this rather niche subject. And although I was motivated to start with insects as a kind of way towards understanding human intelligence, I'm now actually completely fascinated with what insects themselves are able to do. And compared to robotics, the capabilities that insects have, even compared to what we think of as quite sophisticated robots. So their ability to get around in the world, to, for example, do navigation, go out on long journeys, find food and find their way home to a nest, which might be a tiny hole in the ground. We actually have no robots that have those kind of capacities, and in the case of insects, it's all being done in a brain that's smaller than the size of a pinhead. So I feel we've got a great deal to learn in terms of algorithms and processing mechanisms from insects, and it's a field that's going to keep me pretty busy for the next few years.